I smelled like a whole foot. It was disgusting. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here and spending time with me. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and do that now. It really helps me out. So today we're going to be talking about my scent week. I feel like I had a kind of weird scent week. I had like some mid fragrances. I had a fragrance that grossed me out, quite honestly, and I had some really good fragrances, so let's get right into it. First off, I'm gonna talk about the fragrance that really just kind of had me taken aback, and this is Kajal Lamar Kajal. And about this fragrance, it was launched in 2020. The nose is Mark Buxton. The top notes include apple, pineapple, red berries, cardamom, and coriander. The mid notes are Bulgarian rose, Turkish rose, jasmine sambac, magnolia, and the base notes include musk, vanilla, amber, cashmere wood, cedar, and moss. So on my skin, it literally smelled like a whole dirty, sweaty gym sock, and I have no idea how. It literally smelled like dirty, sweaty feet and synthetic fruits, like somebody had taken a fruity spray and sprayed it all over their socks to make it smell less because they just did not want to get a new pair or something. And I was kind of appalled about how it smelled on me. This was like one of the few times where a fragrance has actually truly offended me, and I kid you not, I was so shocked when I went to the Fragrantica page and saw that so many people liked it. So apparently it's me, it's my skin chemistry that it does not work on. But when I went ahead and, you know, tested on a tester strip, because I did have that thought, I was like, hey, what if it's just my skin chemistry? And it was, to some extent. So I will say that off the tester strip, it smelled a little bit sour, a little bit fruity, and sweet, and definitely floral for sure, and even a bit powdery. So I definitely still feel like I picked up that sweaty foot nuance in the back, and I'm not sure if that's just because it was so appalling on my skin, and that's like all I smell on my skin, so my nose was able to pick it up on the tester strip, but I can say it was very much in the background. So this was, I don't know, I really just can't deal with this. I feel like even on the test strip, it was a lot better. It was a lot better, but I would never recommend this to anybody. Did not mean to start so negatively, but that was definitely my downfall of the week. I feel like this is probably the worst fragrance I put on my body in a while. Just did not work for me. So moving on to the next fragrance, we're going to talk about Rehab by Initio. And Rehab by Initio is actually on sale on Aura right now. I would go check. It's about $165, so that's actually a really good steal. Pretty sure that's less than I paid for my bottle. So Rehab was launched in 2018 by Initio. The top notes include lavender and bergamot. The mid notes include cedar, vetiver, and patchouli, and the base notes include sandalwood, musk, and gaiac wood. So this one is a love for me. This one is perfectly unisex in my opinion. It may fall a little more masculine, but I definitely think it's very much unisex. So this fragrance is compared to Spice Bomb, and I have done the comparison myself. I've smelled them side by side. I would definitely say that this is much smoother, much better blended than Spice Bomb, and I feel like the citruses in Spice Bomb are a lot more sharp. Everything is more sharp in that fragrance. They definitely have a very similar scent profile though. It really just depends on how much you love the scent profile and if you're willing to invest into this. Me personally, I love it, and this is probably one of my favorite Initios that I've smelled to date. I've only smelled like 4 or 5, but this is definitely one of my faves. This is an aromatic, woody fragrance. You definitely smell the lavender, you definitely smell the bergamot, you definitely get the woody notes. I find it to be grounding and calming with that lavender in there, and overall it's just a really nice fragrance to wear when I want to feel calm, when I want to be in my zen mode, be at peace with myself. Fragrance is actually really powdery, and I feel like it adds to that comforting, relaxing kind of
vibe that it gives off. And I definitely get a fresh spicy kick with that bergamot up top. As for projection and longevity, I get about 8+ hours with this fragrance, and I feel like it's about moderate projection. I definitely feel like it performs really well. I definitely would have to say that it's truly addicting, it's calming, and with that powderiness, it's like a very finely milled kind of powder. It feels very luxurious. This is just a really, truly addicting scent, and I can absolutely recommend this to anybody who likes an aromatic, lavender, calming, powdery kind of scent. I think you'll really enjoy it. If you enjoy Spice Bomb, you will really enjoy this. The other fragrance I wore this week was Rosendo Mateu No. 5 by Rosendo Mateu, and it was launched in 2017. The nose of this fragrance is Rosendo Mateu. The top notes include spices, exotic florals. Middle notes include carnation, lily of the valley, and the base notes include amber, vanilla, and musk. So for me, it opens up smelling like new rubbery car tires, like just getting some tires for your car. Some people have reported smelling gasoline. Again, I don't get that. I get a new rubbery tire, and that quickly dissipates, and immediately I get exotic florals, I get spices, I get a very sexy floral vanilla fragrance with some spice. It feels dry and powdery to me. Now, in terms of projection, this is a beast. This is the type of fragrance where you could spray it, leave the room, and somebody that walks in the room after you, they're going to smell it, and they're going to smell it heavily. This is a beast, and I feel like when you're wearing it, you don't realize how powerful it is until somebody else says something to you and you're like, oh wow, you smell me? Like, it's a beast. And as for longevity, it performs well as well. This lasts, it lasts forever. Yeah, easily over 8 hours, possibly even closer to 10. I just really, really enjoy this fragrance, and every time I wear it, I fall more and more in love with it. This one is chef's kiss. Absolutely adore it. Another fragrance I wore this week was Musc Ravageur, and this was launched in 2000, and the nose is Maurice Rossel, and the top notes include lavender, tangerine, as well as bergamot. Mid notes include cinnamon as well as cloves, and the base notes include musk, vanilla, tonka bean, amber, sandalwood, gaiac wood, as well as cedar. I just want to preface this by saying I'm actually really surprised that Animalic was not listed as a main accord on Fragrantica. That was probably one of the first things that I truly picked up, that this fragrance does feel very animalic, at least to my nose it does. This feels like a carnal, warm, ambery, spiced vanilla with an aromatic feel. To me, it's a softer scent than you would expect from just looking at the notes. Cloves is a note that scares me sometimes, and I feel like even though you can really smell it in here, it's definitely subdued, and it's not aggressive. It's very much sexy. It's very much giving spice without being too aggressive, at least in my opinion, with moderate projection. As per longevity, if I'm remembering correctly, I got about 8 hours, closer to 9. And it really truly is a beast in terms of longevity. This is a powdery fragrance. Initially, I feel like it's very powdery, and then it kind of settles down and just becomes powdery almost in a different kind of way, in a fluffier kind of way. So in terms of who should wear this fragrance, I feel like this fragrance is a little bit more grown up. I definitely feel like it's giving sexy, but I also feel like it's giving somebody with life experience. It's giving someone who's lived a little bit, been disappointed a little bit, you know, definitely has some solid life experience, has some years under their belt. So I would say 25 plus, but really truly, if we're being really serious, I would say more so 30 plus. It's very much giving grown and sexy. This is probably one of the most sexy, upscaled, complicated scents that I own. A lot of my scents are very sugary and juvenile, and or some sort of gourmand. I definitely feel like this is very much giving grown and sexy. It's very upscale. It's definitely very carnal feeling and mature as well. And I would say that it also has an exotic feel to it, while still maintaining a level of elegance. I just really, really have come to love this scent. The more I wear it, the more confident I feel, the more I'm really falling for it. But moving on, another scent that I wore this last week, it is actually a layering combination. We're gonna talk about two fragrances at once, and they both have pineapple in them. So the first fragrance that I want to mention is Mystic Sugar by Coreterno, and this fragrance, oh my gosh guys, so this fragrance was launched in 2021. The nose of this is Luca Maffei, and the top notes include pineapple, almond blossom, and orange, and then in the mid notes it contains tonka bean, cacao, cardamom, ginger, and jasmine, and in the base notes we have vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. So this fragrance I absolutely raved, like I raved and talked about so much last year. I think it was around this time too, springtime. So I feel like this is actually probably more of like a fall winter fragrance, but I find myself bringing it out in the spring. I just think that's because of the pineapple note. It's just so juicy and sugary. This is a powdery vanillic gourmand. It's definitely vanilla forward with the tonka and the vanilla in there, powdery from the cacao, and I love the way the ginger and the cardamom tie in for a spicy touch. I would consider this to be a warm, spicy kind of fragrance. And going back to the pineapple in the beginning, it's definitely very juicy. It's giving juicy, cooked down, sugary pineapple. This fragrance is so intoxicating in my opinion. It's one of my favorite gourmand fragrances, and it still has maintained that spot, you know, a top spot in my favorite gourmands to date. I just really think there's something special about it. It makes me happy every single time I wear it, and it's pretty, some people don't get very great longevity with it. I've had my bottle for probably a year about, or maybe a little longer, I'm not exactly sure. And I find that I get decent longevity, I get decent lasting power, especially when you're moisturizing. I feel like that really helps in making sure you're drinking your water so your skin stays hydrated and you stay hydrated. And a lot of the time when I wear this fragrance, I actually do end up layering it, so that also helps with the longevity as well. So to talk about the counterpart that I layered it with, we're going to talk about Bade'e Al Oud's Honor and Glory. This is a Middle Eastern fragrance that I just recently added to my collection. I saw a lot of people talking about it. I saw pineapple brulee as one of the notes, and I thought that was so interesting. So this fragrance was released last year. The top notes include pineapple brulee, mid notes of cinnamon, benzoin, black pepper, and turmeric, and the base notes include sandalwood, cashmere, and moss. So initially, I would say the first blast is interesting and very sweet. You're getting a very juicy, sugary pineapple. I would go so far as to say it almost even feels kind of twinkling because it is so sugary and sweet. So I would say after a very short amount of time, I'm talking anywhere from like 30 seconds to like a few minutes, you're going to start getting the mid notes, and I thought that was really, really quick. To really get those notes full force. You're definitely getting a lot of spices, and you get the turmeric. So I feel like as it's changing, and this may just be because my bottle's new and I have not let it sit too much, and I heard that with Middle Eastern fragrances you do have to let them sit and settle, but I did find that that transition was a little harsh. I'm being very critical in my review right now, like it's not even anything to be too concerned about, but I do find that as it's transitioning for like maybe a few minutes, it does get a little awkward before it settles, and it's really beautiful again. I like it. I feel like you definitely are really getting the vanilla. For me, my skin really pulled the moss. And as per longevity, I don't really want to speak on that yet because I've heard that Lattafa, you really have to let those fragrances sit to get the full longevity. So if you guys are curious about that, or if you have any questions about it, you could definitely message me, comment, or whatever, and I will update you when I have the chance, or I can, you know, give a review about it in a couple of months and update you guys. So I do want to say at certain points in the beginning, it did smell a little sharp, and it did smell like a wall plug-in. Again, very, very, very short amount of time as it's transitioning. Overall, I know I've said like a few cons about this fragrance, but I really enjoy it. I think it's absolutely worth the price. I think the presentation is beautiful. I think the scent is interesting, and I'm really excited to see how it sits and macerates. I feel like it's going to be off the walls incredible. Like I said, it's only, you know, the first few minutes where I'm like, okay, not so great, but the rest of the fragrance all the way through the dry down, I really, honestly, truly enjoy. So the next fragrance I want to talk about is another Middle Eastern fragrance, and it is called Remas, and it is also by Lattafa, but it is in the niche Emarati line, so it is a little bit more expensive. This one's gonna run you about $60 US. So the top notes include bergamot, mango, orange, middle notes of jasmine, sandalwood, and the base notes are olibanum, white amber, as well as vanilla. Some of you fragrance connoisseurs probably recognize the note breakdown, and it is very similar to Fame by Paco Rabanne, and I can absolutely say that yes, this is a dupe or a copy of Fame from Paco Rabanne. I compared it to Fame Parfum, which is a little bit different than the original Fame, and I will have to say that I do prefer the Paco Rabanne version to the niche Emarati. So some cons about this fragrance that I noticed is the bottle, although beautiful, it's not really practical to hold. Hold on, let me go grab it. But the bottle is not all that practical to hold. It's just kind of like really awkward, and then to get the cap off, it's like even a struggle sometimes for me, at least. I think it's a really interesting bottle. The presentation was not as nice as some of the other niche Emarati fragrances. Now, all in all, I feel like this is I feel like I get the vanilla from the nozzle, but I don't really get it too much when it's on my skin. So on my skin, I'm really getting a burst of mango. I do get a sharp kind of bergamot. I get woody notes, but I mostly get a light floral, kind of airy, musky almost fragrance. There's no musk note listed, but I definitely feel like it has an airy or light quality to it. But then I also feel like the amber as well as the olibanum make it a little bit thicker, but those are, you know, it is a lighter resin, and a white amber is a lighter, less dense amber. So I definitely feel like it added a little layer of thickness, but nothing too crazy, nothing too thick. I would not consider this a balsamic fragrance. I feel like this is very casual wearing on my skin personally. I got about 4 to 5 hours. Again, like I said previously with the other Lattafa, I probably got about the same, but I do want to let it sit and see if it develops or matures, is longer lasting. I know that does happen with fragrances, so I want to check it out. I don't think that this one is going to be one that I'm reaching for all the time, although it is very casual wearing in my opinion. I do think it is casual wearing, a little bit more feminine. I'm okay with it. Like, I'm not mad at it. But even Fame by Paco Rabanne is like not really my go-to scent profile. But I feel like it will be a nice throw it in the bag fragrance. We'll see if I get use out of this one. I really just want to see if I do reach for it at all. It's a like. I don't dislike it, but I don't love it either. There's nothing really too memorable about this fragrance in my opinion. And the fact that it's duping a designer fragrance when you could probably get it on discount anyways. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. It smells nice though, and I will say I did spray it on my son. I smelled him in passing and I was like, okay, that smells nice. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I was underwhelmed, you know, just looking at the notes, just getting it on my nose, but I do not think it's anything to hype up, not anything to go crazy about. Just my thoughts. And guys, the last fragrance I want to talk about, well, I'm going to show you guys a layering combination. Last night I wore Being French Cashmere Vanilla. I put that on, and honestly, this is like a really nice, woody, soft vanilla fragrance. To me, it almost smelled a little nutty on my skin. Don't know why or how, but it did. And then I layered it with Comète Paradis 62 by by Parle Moi de Parfum. So this fragrance is a new release by the company. It was released in late 2023, and the nose of this fragrance is Michel Amarac. I really hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly. So this person makes a lot of fragrances for Parle Moi de Parfum, and is also the nose of Tribeca for Bond Number 9, Fahrenheit by Dior, Gucci Rush by Gucci. So there's 5 notes within this fragrance. There's cacao, sandalwood, tonka bean, musk, and coconut. And I feel like I can smell pretty much all of the notes. I think it's soft and creamy feeling. It has a sensual and cozy yet comforting feeling to this. It's very warm feeling in my opinion. From what I smell with the notes in order, from most to least, it would have to be the sandalwood, then the coconut, then the musk, then the tonka bean, then the cacao. So this is an intimate scent. It lasts like 8-9 hours. This lasted a long time on my skin. It's powdery yet creamy, and I would love to wear this on a chillier day or night. I especially love wearing this to bed. When you do your full skincare routine and you're wearing a matching set of pajamas, or like a satin robe from Victoria's Secret, or you know, you're just wearing your satin jammies or whatever you're wearing, like it just feels so top tier. It's giving luxury, it's giving classy, it's giving elegant. I love this scent. This is a really nice sandalwood scent. The sandalwood in here feels dry to me. The coconut in here feels dry to me as well. I would say that at points it reminds me of Vanilla Powder by Mateu Premier. It does have a vanilla coconut kind of feel. It is musky, it is dry and powdery feeling. And then I would also say it's like that mixed with Cheeky Smile by Jukebox, which has a BR540-esque kind of DNA, but it's much more musky and woody. I would say if you took those two fragrances and you combined them, you would essentially have this. I think it's a really stunning fragrance. I think it's definitely one to sample, definitely one to check out. This has made my wish list, and with my birthday coming up soon, I hope my loved ones care about me enough to get me that. No, I'm kidding. But no, with my birthday coming up, I probably will go ahead and get that for myself. I really enjoyed this wear. I've been wearing it a lot this last week or two. I think I've probably worn it about 3 or 4 times. I'm trying to make my sample last, guys. But yeah, this is really beautiful. Highly recommend. And that layering combination last night was just chef's kiss. I went to sleep, I fell asleep like a baby. I slept like a baby, and yeah. So guys, this is my fragrance roundup. This is my chaotic fragrance week. I feel like I've only really had like 2 misses. I would say that definitely the Lamar Kajal. Like, I'm so sorry if you like that fragrance. It was awful for me. Absolutely awful experience. It literally smelled like a foot. I'm so happy I tried it before bed. I would have been pissed if I walked around smelling like a foot. And what else? Oh, Remas. And there was nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's kind of mid. I feel like they definitely duplicated a mid fragrance, and that just does not really make too much sense to me. I feel like it's a really nice scent. I feel like the quality is definitely there. The packaging is just, you know, not practical. I think it's very beautiful. I don't think that the packaging is practical. The shape of the bottle is like really awkward to hold, and you know, you're at risk of dropping the bottle if you're taking the top off and say you have butterfingers or whatever. So I definitely feel like the design was just not really practical for the average consumer. Yes, so guys, I'm so sorry I was a little bit more critical this time. I definitely want to get on here and, you know, be authentic with you guys. Let you guys know what, you know, I'm really thinking. I feel like there's really no point in coming on here and saying, oh yes, everything's beautiful, everything's great, everything's, you know, amazing, because it's just not, you know. You guys come on here to see somebody else's experience and make that decision for yourself as if it's worth it to you to sample, which I always recommend doing first, or, you know, whatever else you want to do. So with that being said, thank you so much for spending this time with me. You know, time is the most precious commodity, so I'm very, very grateful that you guys are using your time, taking your time to spend with me and hear my thoughts. It really truly means the world to me. If you haven't already and you've made it to the end of this video, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button, and please turn on your notifications so you can be notified every time I post. So with that being said, stay safe, take care of yourself, love you guys always, bye.